given up any points this season. We had our chances to win the game at the end, and again, no blame to be placed, just didn't come down with the ball. Those opportunities there inside the 10.
Your interpretation, or just on the Zach play, there were two calls there in the second half with the face mask on Trevon, and that kind of shifted some things. Did you get an explanation on the Zach one?
Yeah, I did. I saw the Trevon Stewart play was on their sideline. I did see the replay. It did look like on the replay that he did grab his face mask as he was going out of bounds. And then they said Zach McMillan launched, meaning he left his feet to make the hit on the defender, and that's a point of emphasis this year.
Can you talk about the play of your defense? Through the first 3 quarters, you gave up a lot of yards, but not a lot of points.
And let me backtrack, and I certainly will answer that question. But our prayers are with Brashad Perryman. Again, I think people back home know when you see his father come out on the field, and certainly it appeared to be very serious, but our entire program's prayers are with him and his family. Hope he has a speedy recovery. But going back to your question, I think I don't want to say bend but don't break. The thing we emphasize more than anything in our program defensively is creating turnovers. And normally when you win that turnover margin, you win the game. Again, we got those 2 early. And for whatever reason, whether we didn't get into a rhythm on offense or we had negative plays, maybe it was a combination of the field position as well, off of those turnovers in their red zone. We didn't turn them into points, which was obviously unfortunate. But if you ever tell me, Coach, you're going to give up an 80-play drive and then create a turnover at the 5-yard line, would you take it? I'd say absolutely, I'd take it. Because by the time they get down there, in their mind, they're thinking points, and that's a huge momentum swing. Now, I'd rather them go 5 yards and we get a turnover. But again, that's what our guys have been really doing as good as anything defensively, creating those turnovers, and those were big plays early on, which I felt like, again, could have swung the momentum they did at that play, and then we didn't do anything with it offensively.
I mean, it looked like in the first half you guys had a little bit more than usual drop passes. Like I said, it's not very characteristic. You hadn't been doing that lately. Is that? No, it's a point of emphasis each week, but now this point was it to be in those situations where you had, I think 2 of them were on first down.
Right. I think we had one on third down. I think Daniel Spencer dropped one on third down at one point.
Yeah, 2
down. But no, those were uncharacteristic of us, especially in the last few games. And that's something we've talked about all week in terms of, I don't know that it was, and this is just a feeling I had on the sideline, as much as possibly technique or not looking the ball in, or it might have been guys pressing a little bit, I think, early on. I think Xavier Maxwell had one over the middle, and Daniel Spencer had one toward the sideline. So, again, I felt like going in, and I do feel like we were certainly ready to play. But I think, I might have seen a couple of guys pressing early on that just needed to relax and do what they do.
You guys didn't run the ball much in the first half, came out in the second half and started running the football. What did you see at halftime that made you make that adjustment?
Well, we had to run the ball more in the second half, and I felt like we probably should have got going more in the first half. And we had some negative plays and got into some long yardage things where we couldn't necessarily, didn't feel like we could run it, but we felt like we needed to establish that more in the second half. I felt like we did. Kenneth Farrell, Ryan Jackson, very talented, and I thought they made some things on their own at times. I thought their offensive line did a nice job as well against the talented Central Florida defensive front.
Can you talk about the play at UCF's running game and the difficulty you guys had stopping them?
Mm-hmm. Well, and again, going into it, we felt like Storm Johnson was as talented of a running back as we had seen all season. And 28, their freshman, is not too bad either, I think they do a nice job with their offensive line. We had to try to adjust some things at halftime in terms of our run fits, and we did, and we made some plays. We had some negative, we had some tackles for loss in the second half on a number of their run plays, and then they made an adjustment as well. Then came out in the second half with a different concept that we had to adjust to on the sideline. So, and I give their staff credit, but I certainly want to also emphasize the talent of their running backs.
Wayne Beadle, I mean, haven't used him as much.
Mm-hmm.
He came in here tonight, had a touchdown.
Yeah, and he's a young man. Again, he's a walk-on in our program, and it's a little bit of a reflection of a couple things. One, the injury to Larry McDuffie, where we took DeMarcus Ayers, who had been playing inside behind Daniel Spencer, moved him outside, which moved Wayne up from third string to second string behind Daniel Spencer. And then Daniel got banged up a little bit this afternoon in the second half and did not finish the game, so Wayne came in, and I thought he did a nice job.
Anything serious on Daniel, or is it?
It's an upper body thing. I'll know more in the next day or two.
The oh gosh, where's my train of thought? Oh, come on, I'll think of it.
Can you talk about the end of the first half there? You guys went for it on fourth down. Was there any consideration kicking the field goal there? I think it was a 48-yard field goal.
Yeah, there was. I considered it prior to the ball being snapped on third down, and had we gained a few yards, we would have gone for a field goal. I felt like there was a little bit of a wind, and that would have been into the wind. So I didn't want to. Attempt a field goal from 48 yards into the wind, and sometimes the trajectory, as you saw on their long field goal, can be a little bit lower when you're kicking at that type of distance. And I just felt like I wanted to give our offense a chance to convert the fourth and long.
Greg Ward, it's a matter of picking your spots, or was he available?
Yeah, he was available.
So it kind of with the running game, did it just not factor in as far as how you were running the ball early and not using him, or was it more than that, or?
No, in just the sideline, we talked about it. I mean, it just it felt like rhythmically, if you will, we didn't. We had a couple 3-and-outs. We turned the ball over. We finally started to get something going. It just it didn't work out to get him in. All right, thank you.